Good morning. Welcome to a quick edition of Coffee with Tea. I'm your host, the amazing T Street. So this morning, I want to jump right in and give you some good content because I've got someplace I've got to be. Today's topic: don't skip the process of more no's for more yeses. I'm in a season of my life where I don't always get to do all of the things that I sometimes would like to do. And I get invited to do far more things than I have capacity to do. And sometimes my no produces in other people visceral reactions. Sometimes I always want to say yes when it's possible. But can I say to you, sometimes my refusal to give a no robs me of the yes moments of my own life. So, in this season where I've got a lot spiraling around me personally and professionally, there are far more no's than yeses. Do I say yes? If it's aligned to my purpose, if it's aligned to my ministry, my answer, if I have the time, is likely going to be yes. But can I just say to you, sometimes you have to give some no's so that you can get and have capacity for your yeses. First of all, how do you do that? The way that I say no is I know what my no is protecting. Sometimes I'm saying no to some things because the thing that I need to have the capacity for yes for is powerful and it's a draw on me. For example, in this season, my no sometimes is predicated upon the fact that I have an elderly aunt that me and my siblings and my cousins are responsible for caring for as she is no longer able to care for herself. And so, as a result of that, there are some times that I have to say no. For example, I was asked to do something on a Sunday at a later hour, and I said, I'm sorry, I can do the earlier part, but I can't do the later part because Sunday is part of my day. I cook for my aunt on that day. And so, my no for you, even though it's aligned to my ministry, is I can't do that because I have a responsibility to my family that I'm protecting. So my no is protecting my ability to say yes to my familial responsibilities. And so I won't apologize for my no. And my no is a no. I can't apologize for that. The other day I asked a friend if she would facilitate a workshop for me. And by the way, I appreciate other people's no's as well. And she said, "Oh my God, T, I would love to, blah, 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 blah." She's like, "But that night, that whole week, I'm tied up with something." And I said, "Oh man." And it's aligned to her purpose in her ministry. I said, "I get it. Thank you." Then I reached back and I was like, "Yo, you gave us your content." I never use people's content. I'm a content creator as well. I am a creative. And so with that, I know what the value is in my creativity. Right now, I'm in court with someone who stole my intellectual property, and that's not okay with me. So I said to her, "Hey, can I use your stuff?" She said, "No, I'm in the process of copywriting my stuff." I said, "No worries. I absolutely get it." She said, you can probably use something else. Oh, no, 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 no. If I change my date, can I get a yes from you? Because that's how dope your material is. She was like, "For real? Good morning, Tina." I said, "Yeah. Yep." She was like, "Yes." I gave her an alternative date. She gave me a yes because she wanted to do what I was asking her to do. She couldn't do it on that day. And she said no to me using her stuff. It's okay to give a no. It's also good to receive a no. So sometimes people are giving you a no. They know what their no is protecting. The second thing, propose alternatives that respect your boundaries while addressing their needs. I respected her boundaries, but I proposed some alternatives like, "Hey, I know you said you really want to do this. I know you're trying to get out there more, and I'm going to pay you. Can you do it on this day?" And she said, yeah, I can." Oh my God, thank you for making a way for me to give you a yes. So propose some alternatives if somebody gives you a no. But if you have to say no, there's some things I said, I can't do that. A friend asked me to do something on August 3rd. I said, I can't do August 3rd. That's my nephew's birthday. She said, well, can you open for me on June 8th? I said, that's my sister's birthday. So if you can get me on earlier, I can do the later with my sister because my sister is my bestie and she's always going to have a yes. She's always going to have my yes. She's my BFF. She's my rock. So I'm always going to give her a yes. So I gave her some alternatives to get to a yes from me. But my no about what I could not do on August 3rd was a no. Recognize that sometimes your no will never appease their need for your yes. Sometimes you're just not going to make people happy because you said no. And you have to learn how to be okay with not making everybody else happy because sometimes you have to protect your yeses. When I say no, it frees me up to give far more yeses for the things that I value in my life. And so, even if my no doesn't please or appease you, I will still stand on my no. If it indeed, good morning, Stephanie, my girl. I will still give you a no because I know that no matter what I say, if I don't give you a yes, it's never going to appease you. And at the end of the day, I'm not called to appease anyone but God. And so at the end of the day, you got to learn how to give more no's so that you have the ability to show up for the yeses that are called for your life. And it's okay to protect your yeses with some very well placed no's. So what do? Know what your no is protecting. In this case, it's protecting my ability to show up for my family. Propose alternatives that respects both your boundaries while you also address what their needs are if you can, like my friend did for me, and like I offered her some alternatives to give me a yes because she wanted to give me one. And finally, you got to recognize that no matter what you do, sometimes your no is never going to appease or make other people happy. If it's protecting something that's important to you, say no anyway. I'm the amazing T Street. You know what? There's absolutely positively nothing amazing in me that's not in each and every one of you. So today, put some no's in your life so that you can have more yeses in your life. Have an amazing day.